I call the meeting to the Bogalusa City Council meeting. It's now 5:30 p.m. for the date of Tuesday, April the 21st, 2026. At this time, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance followed by invocation. Invocation. Sorry.
Heavenly Father, we come to you, Lord, just thanking you first and foremost for the birth of life. Father God, we ask you, Lord, as you lift up the city, continue to bless us. Touch us all in a mighty special way, Father God. You know all the things of and the desires of the heart. We lift up the bereaved families of this special blessing in the family. God, everyone who is the sound of my voice, Lord, they may be born. Father God, we just surrender to you. America as a whole, Lord, and just keep us united together, but one with all together. Father God, we pray for a successful meeting, Lord, as we come
Salute the flag.
together.
Roll call, please, Secretary Edwards.
Councilman Temple, here. Councilman Kelly, here. President Bennett,
Here.
Councilman Bevel, here. Vice President Smith, here. Councilman Tate, here. Councilman Bevel.
Okay. Next, we have the approval of the meeting minutes held on March 17th, 2026. We have a motion and second, public discussion on meeting minutes only. This is meeting minutes only. Thank you. Just push the, Don, push the button. Very good.
Test 1, 2.
Yes, sir. Go ahead and state your name and address.
John McNabb, 202 Durbanee. I have a contest with the approval of the minutes for the March 17th meeting. In it, there was a blatantly false accusation in the resolution that stated that the budget that was voted on was in compliance with 5-02 and 5-07, specifically submitted 45 days prior to January 1st, 2026. That is a flat out fabrication because it was not presented until February 2026, far beyond the deadline. You yourself even admitted to it, Mr. President, or Mr. Norton was here in the hot seat. So if these meeting minutes are going to be accepted, there needs to be a disclaimer that that was not in compliance with 5-02 or 7, and that it was not submitted in the timely manner expressed.
Okay. Any other public discussion on these meeting minutes? Then we have council discussion on what was just said. Do note that what the person said. Okay. Put on the microphone, please. Speak into the microphone.
Okay, I do have comments, but not necessarily on what you said, but I have comments on the budget itself and how it was presented. And under the authority that was presented, from what I understand, the legislative officers did review this budget, and they know of the time, they knew of the timeline, therefore it was actually approved by the physical administrator because of the approval of the legislature. And that I can give a statement.
Okay. Any other council discussion?
Yeah, I just want to note for the record that still does not negate the allegations that he made at the podium. And if it needs to be corrected, it should be corrected if it's a part of a government record.
Okay. Um, So you put down what you feel. All right, what say you, council? Okay. All right, so we're gonna have roll call on the meeting minute. Do y'all wish?
One other statement on statements that Mr. McNair made, I would suggest to get a legal opinion on that, if we should do that, if we should, make an amendment to the minutes on the, but get legal,
Do you want to just table the meeting minute? Or what would you-
not the entire minutes, no, but, maybe perhaps the what.
Before because we can make amendment, come back and make amendment in another council meeting?
Yeah,
Is that what you're trying to get to? Okay. All right,
but to get a legal
to get a legal opinion.
opinion.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, they did override.
Yeah,
did override.
I know what they are over. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm familiar with what they've done. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Roll call then.
Aye. Councilman Kelly. President Griffin.
Aye.
Councilman Butler. Vice President Smith. Aye.
Yes, I would accept that. Yeah, I will go back and do that.
We're going to say. So what we're going to do is send it right back to the people who approved the budget. So that the review-
But we haven't.
Yeah, we're going to send a meeting minutes and let them make a decision. Thank you. Okay. Next. Next, we have appointments and nominations for boards and committee members. Mr. Captain Mike Hollywood, appointed to the Bogalusa Civil Service Board. I was told in advance that Mr. Hollywood, Captain Hollywood will not be here due to his birthday, and other conflicting interests. So I was told in advance about that, and the Civil Service Board is aware of that. At this time, I'm going to ask for a motion and a second, and we're going to have public discussion on Captain Mike Hollywood. He was here at the April 7th meeting. Okay, now public discussion. Please come forward, state your name and address for the record. There being none, I'll close public discussion. Council discussion on Captain Mike Hollywood being approved for the Civil Service Board. There be none, I ask for roll call from Secretary Everett.
Councilman Pepper. Aye. Councilman Kelly. Aye. President Griffin.
Aye.
Councilman Butler. Vice President Smith. Aye. Councilman Lee. Aye. Councilman Butler.
Okay. Next, we have adoptions of resolutions. A resolution of the City of Bogalusa authorizing Robert Bob Nielsen, Fiscal Administrator, to execute any and all agreements and documents with the Louisiana Department of Transportation Development of Office of Multidromal Commerce pertaining to the George R. Carr Memorial Airport. Now, we did get asked Miss Laura MacArthur, which is in charge of that department. We did ask about that. This resolution is an opt-in offer. It will make submitting grant application and accepting grant offers easier. With the said, one resolution can be submitted at any time and is good for 1 year or until a change in person authorized to sign such changes, whichever is soon. And that says that the other document, DocuSign, was due by April 15th. This is a one resolution that can be voted on at any time. So at this time, ask for a motion on there, and then we'll have public discussion.
So move.
We got a motion and a second. Motion and a second. Now public discussion. You have 3 minutes.
John McNabb, 202 Germany. You're asking for this resolution that's going to allow blanket permission. And in the last meeting, you claimed that it was only to allow Mr. Nielsen to utilize the DocuSign software to move it forward. However, the resolution does not reference DocuSign in any way, shape, or form, does not explain what secure operating controls to be put in place to make sure that said documents signed are in such a fashion are stored or hosted properly. Furthermore, in the effective date section, it secures a 1-year duration for Mr. Nielsen to make blanket decisions for our airport when he most likely will not be our fiscal administrator after the next county takes off in 2027. This lacks specificity and transparency with the people voiced concerns with in the last meeting, and I think their concerns are valid. For those reasons, the resolution presented here needs to be tabled until it can be modified to include proper terminology, clear document retention policy for items submitted via such software, and limiting Mr. Nielsen's authority not to extend his tenure as fiscal administrator. Now on to the technical aspects. Mr. President, I will reiterate that as someone who works in the tech industry, as someone who claims to be technologically inclined, I'm here to say that this governing body, including the fiscal administrator, are not capable nor ready to handle any additional software or hardware added into their daily operations. We have one website with a down server that is leaking critical infrastructure data, another website that is susceptible to cross-site scripting attacks that is being updated as recent as last month, despite the fact someone on this council is lying on public social media saying that we don't have a website. Computers have ex-employee credentials that are still active. There's a lack of secure operating controls that leave payroll and finance susceptible to phishing attacks, outdated and misconfigured voice over IP and webmail systems that make basic communication via phone and email problematic. Proving my point, I no sooner voiced these concerns in the last meeting than the meeting had to come to a screeching halt because our top team of tech-savvy leaders, including yourself, Mark, couldn't figure out how to properly reconnect an audio cable for the live stream, which led to more delays in what should be routine operations at this point. Asimov said that the strain of anti-intellectualism has been a constant thread winding its way through our political and cultural life, nurtured by the false notion that democracy means that one person's ignorance is just as good as another person's intelligence. To make it more clear, this body lacks the competency to be this confident in taking on any additional software or hardware into the municipality's current tech stack. You don't have to believe me. You can actually just look at the website that currently has the agenda minutes, and although it has been abandoned this month for all these meetings and minutes for some reason, it does have documents going back to 2025 where we actually had references to a third website, cityofbogalusa.org, one that the city never owned. And I can verify that for people who don't believe the claims that I'm saying are true because I own it. The city never acquired it, despite the fact that our council advertised it in various documents that's on the 2025 minutes. So no, you don't know what you do and don't have. You don't know how to use what you do have. You're definitely not ready to bring in more software and more hardware into this situation.
Okay. Please state your name and address.
President 641 St. Augustine Street. Well, mine isn't so much a statement and question because that statement, any and all agreement, is not assigned to a temporary person. Why would you set precedent? Why would we contradict the city charter? And then two, you said that this was last week required by DocuSign. Now we're being pitched a whole different reason for this. This needs further clarification. It needs to be defined as far as the duties that's entailed in this and just not one aspect. You're looking at one aspect, you're trying to set precedents here, and it's not legal. One man to have any and all, does that really sound legal? No, it does not. I'll answer that for you because y'all don't seem to be careful.
Just so you know, this did go back to the person who gave us where we put in the physical administrator's name and all and sent it back to Ms. Laura MacArthur. She did see it. So she approved this document. She approved this document. That is, yes. So, Mr. Sanders?
John Sanders, Liddell. In rebuttal to what you said, Laura cannot approve those one documents. They have to go all the way up to the secretary herself and approve those. Even any type of resolution that comes down, The resolution you have in here is actually an in-house. It's not something that's from the state. Because any resolution that comes from the state dealing with this airport has to have a project number and DOT or multi-module on it. Therefore, this is not something that has been handed down from you to the state. It's something that's been made itself. Another thing as well is the documents and everything that were supposed to be displayed to the community were actually put up on the Facebook site where that's the only place that you can display it at 5:42 this morning. Therefore, there was no 24-hour span of layovers at all. Therefore, that really makes it null and void, what you're doing today.
No,
Now, oh yeah, it does.
thank you.
Because by state, it does. It makes it null and void again. Next thing is the form that you had to fill out to sign a DocuSign. That's a basic form that goes between the airport manager and the sponsor. Usually the sponsor is usually the mayor of the city or like chief of staff. Like before, when I was here, it was myself as a sub-sponsor and the city as a sponsor. Bob Nielsen cannot be the end of all things on that sponsor and sub-sponsor as well. So you can't have him sign as any and all person. Again, Laura cannot make that decision. She is only a sub of the main guy, Brad. These are the people who can make those decisions, and this person cannot make those decisions at all. This is not acceptable at all. This is not good.
Okay. Please, state your name.
Bob
and
Roberts,
address.
1127 Avenue J.
Yeah.
I just feel like just watching from afar lately. And like the gentleman said, too much stuff that should be handled in-house. Y'all going outside the house to get the proper due and the response to that. And that's making everything. Mr. McNair just ripped the spread. I give him an A+ on what he said and how he presented. The council got to do better. It's like we running with no leadership. And you at President Mark, it ain't get no better. Things are still being mismanaged by not Mr. Now, I'm not saying Mr. Nelson is mismanaging things because I feel like Mr. Nelson has did a great job since he came in. And we ended in a surplus for 2025 to 2026, we looking at another $1 million surplus. Mr. Nelson has did his job, but the council have it. The council has it. You having too many just simple things like he said that y'all should be able to, just get together, own and decide, and make a good decision for the city. It don't seem like that's happening. Explain, Mark, please.
I'm going to stop you right there. It's time for us to say something. And I will tell you, this was emailed by Laura, my author. I have all the email threads. This lady and Mr. Austin went back and forth with us, and they're the ones that sent this stuff down here. Do you think that we would bring something to get everybody heart a pounding, okay, every time we bring something up, and then we're getting called over there by Nelson's office saying you need to get this on the agenda? And I says, so I saw Ms. MacArthur's email directly sent to, what was it, Terry? Terry was sent to the thing. I read the whole thing. And what we done, we exactly dropped Bob Nelson's name in there as that. It expires in 1 year.
I'm not
It
against.
expires in 1 year.
I'm not against any of that with Mr. Nelson or him being, but I'm just saying if you're gonna do it, be transparent about it, do it right. That way we don't have Mr. McNair getting up here ripping the council to shreds.
How much freaking more transparent do we have to be?
I'm just saying, Mark, the man, you see, all that. We shouldn't have it. I'm just saying, I'm not saying you're wrong or whatever you did, but let's be more proactive about it. That way, all these mistakes and things that we're dealing with that we shouldn't be, we won't be.
Mr. Chester, go ahead and state your name and address for the chat.
1907, Charlie Roberts. Um, what else? Yeah, I know. You're right. No, you say
I said,
where they,
Yeah, state your name and address for the record. Go ahead.
PHST,
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
No, and for the media, I think, with money. If you guys, if you get ready to administrative remorse, I would like to come and verify that live resume for the year. Y'all got to do this. And the other part, you keep hollering about the emails, show some of you, what your point is.
I got the freaking email here, Chester,
We're not using
from
no
Laura,
time, boy.
from
It's
Laura,
not even-
from
it's
Laura,
hot right now,
from Laura. Okay?
okay? So you don't use it either. Now, if I'd have used it, you'd have been hot. Okay, let's stay civilized.
What?
Let's stay civilized here.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
what we're saying is, email, is it some type of proper, project that it can't be distributed with the public? Is it something that you have
We
to
can
keep
put-
upon yourself?
We can go ahead and give that out to all of y'all. It does not matter to
It
me.
ain't just all of us, it's the public, the people of the city of Bogalusa. Okay.
Right. Sure.
All right,
Yeah.
so when you get, council discussions, you get about why y'all use a year time.
That is what that's what the Newdumel people asked for is 1 year. That's what they asked. I didn't argue with them. They mandated it. They told us what to do.
So mandated as a law.
By age.
This is the law, Mark. You should know this, man. I'm talking to Mark.
Okay, Chester, thank you.
You're not gonna answer.
No. No. Thank you, Chester. Okay, come on.
Question is, you think that, and also Medusa gave mandated that?
They sent it over. They are the ones that typed all
You
this
said
up.
mandate, so they mandated it, so it came from the secretary herself down to.
They're asking for one resolution.
Do you have copies of that mandation? Because I've never seen nothing like this before, and nothing that happens, multimodal or DOTD.
It's a resolution, and it says that the city, it says on here, this is an opt-in offer. So it's not, it says, but it making submitting grant applications and accepting grants are easier.
That's for to add, that is what you add on and sign
Not
digitally.
the same.
It's not to recognize resolutions. You guys, as the council, have to have all contracts come before contract is started, correct? Therefore, it can't be paid in this process. What is listen, the authority is all resolutions. This is what this does.
Okay.
It does not say that, give them the authority, because we do that every single year with the airport. We have to re-up on that opt-in. That was something that started in 2024 about going totally digital on the Accelerate program. That was a new program, Big E. That right there, what you're doing, that is totally, not acceptable at all.
So, Mr. Sanders, you're saying program already in place at the airport, so
They
you,
were pushing in the ability to do things.
So- so you were implementing, yes,
Before, we had to sign a document and upload it.
right, right.
The only thing that does, it just let you do it online.
Simple, yes, real simple.
Right.
I don't know what.
But your resolution does not talk about that. It talks about giving all our power to sign documents and contracts. This is what this does. You're giving power.
Pertaining to aviation, yes.
Right,
it does.
and all those have to come before the board as of charter. You can't evade that. You can't. And it's given, and once he does that, he can have anybody and their mother to do any contract under the table without paying a bill.
All right, any other public discussion?
This is just way too broad, reckless, well, not thought out. It was, I don't know. I'm not gonna say I don't know. But you come in here and try to shove this down our throats again. We repeatedly said, we do not want to give total and all authority to a temporary power. You're acting like Trump.
All right, public discussion is closed. All right, council discussion.
I do have council discussion. First, I would like to clear up for Mr. Abrams. I didn't say I said we. Here we go again, this was something that I made. Also, we were told to, bring this, to the council as a resolution, and as Mr. Moore stated, we do have the email. It is public, knowledge. You just request for public records, and we'd be more than glad to give you a copy. And I don't want anyone in the public to think that we're trying to shove anything down our constituents' throat. This information was brought to us. Now, it has yays and nays, and we both agree. And then when we called back, we were told that this would only be for Mr. Robert Nielsen to be able to sign online as DocuSign, not giving him the full power or authority for any contracts to not come before the council. And in questions, Ms. Kate and I did calls, and we were told if the contracts needed to be signed, the fiscal administration will have the power to sign. The next question we asked was, once we've introduced it, if it passes or doesn't pass, what will be the next phase? And we were told that the fiscal administrator still has the powers to override for this to take place, or that grants and etc. can use this.
Well, in my council discussion, as someone had iterated, it is chartered that all contracts that's come before the council. That's one of the things that we were written up for the last administration.
Right.
And I had, on today, I had made a request through Lamets, which we're dealing with contracts now on some of our bids, and electronically. And I let them know, well, this is going to be done electronically to send their application, that Lamets can actually do that with our bids. And also, I did ask if there were any contracts within the last couple of years that came through Lamets, if they had some type of spreadsheet to make us, to inform us that contracts did come through inappropriately. Now, as far as DocuSign and reading on that off the actual form itself, it does say that to give certain, it says certain authorizations that the authority, responding authority would have, which we have indicated from this woman Laura, it would be Bob Nielsen. So, and he does know that contracts has come through the council as well. It,
Okay. The state is going to a digital way of signing documentation, but that has nothing to do with this specific resolution. I mean, there's a lot of things that we had to sign, or the mayor had to sign, that were in the system. Via, let's just say, i.e. FEMA. FEMA, a lot of documentation were signed electronically, but that does not deal with anything with this resolution. This resolution gives full power to Nielsen to do whatever he wants to in terms of that field. And it's in any type of contractor, any type of anything, without coming before you guys. The other form that you brought up, that is a specific form for allowing you to assign who will sign it online,
right.
not for a contract or any and all contract. It's just giving the ability to sign online. That's all that does. It does not give an ability to sign a contract that you don't even know about. So if I got a friend or something like that,
Well, that's one of the reasons why I requested contracts that we did not know about for the last couple of years. So you just indicated that some contracts, yeah. No, I'm talking about what happened the last couple of years, since you brought up contracts that we were not aware of.
Oh,
So,
you got contracted, you did the public record request, and we delivered them directly.
mhm.
When you ask for anything you ask from us or the mayor or anything, a lot of times I deliver to you personally or between myself and Miss Leslie Pitt.
No, I'm just talking about a list of contracts. No, we do not have
All the
that.
ones that you asked for, and this is the thing, all those contracts had to be sent to the auditors. And what, Eisner Andrews and Becky Hammond. They requested them, and you requested for certain cases because people outside was requesting from you.
All right.
I
So
got
know about
discussion, since we're so worried about contracts, but we're quiet about the 1.2 million and no bid contracts that you didn't seem to know about. I just think, when it comes to this resolution, it's more of the same. Y'all come in here and say one thing, you try to save face with the public while handing over power to do another thing. And you're giving this guy any and all. That's so that he doesn't have to come before y'all. So if he makes a choice that isn't popular with the public, you get to go on the campaign trail and say, I don't know anything about this. When in all actuality, you handed him the pen to sign on the red line. I also just want to make, for the record, a public statement about the way in which you all are responding to constituents. You got a council member rolling her eyes. You got another council member chuckling under her breath. You got a third council person trying to be funny about contracts. Give the constituents the respect they deserve. When they're sitting there, answer their questions because y'all only seem to answer certain people. You need to do better. And I would think that us being in a campaign election season, you would try to do better. But I understand half of y'all aren't running again, so you don't care about doing better. But think about the people that you represent. Do them a solid on their way out. Thank you.
All right. Good. I'm pretty sure this lady is not a lawyer, nor my daughter. I would, based on the intelligence that I got today. So I would say we need to look into tabling this for future day.
I motion.
Yeah. We need to get that on the most possible involved. Let them look into it because I believe a sneaking suspicion. I would like to see all the contracts in reality. It would be a good idea. The DocuSign, yeah, the doc, like Ms. MacArthur said, the DocuSign was a separate document and it got mixed up with a one resolution. So, so, so we got a motion and a second to table this to a future date. That does not mean we're going to bring it back up. Y'all will know when we put it back in the agenda. Okay? We're going to open up the discussion for the floor, the public discussion on the motion and second. Non-council discussion on the table item. Okay, roll call and place. Aye.
Nay.
Aye.
Okay, the table does pass. All right. Get back to the agenda. We have the introduction of ordinances. I'm going to, this is going to be introduced by Councilman Cates. Councilwoman Cates?
Yes.
Uh,
Thank you. An ordinance to grant a critical aviation servitude to Our Lady of the Angels to grant a flight path for future proposed helipad next to Our Lady of the Angels Hospital. And this primarily will be discussed at our next council meeting. I think it's an idea on May 19th,
May 5th.
May 5th. Yeah, May 5th. Yeah.
And at that time, there will be a representative
Yes.
representing and to explain this to the public. There will be someone here.
Yeah, we did visit this a couple of years ago. We had a committee to go before Lady of the Angels on the committee, so it is brought back up. And as we indicated, we will have a representative here for your inquiries. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Gates. Next, we have an ordinance to be read. This is introduction only for Councilwoman Smith.
In order setting revenue and tax rates and levy and such taxes for 2026 as required by law. And this will be brought before our next council meeting on May 19th, so that someone will be here on more in details.
Adams and Reese will be here at that time, Tuesday, May the 19th, at 5:30 p.m.
So the 19th, and not the deadline.
Right, it's not the 5th, it's going to be the 19th, per David Wolf. Next, we have public hearings and adoptions of ordinances. Councilwoman Douglas. Okay, at this time, do I have a motion and a second?
Make a motion.
Okay, public discussion on this. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record, sir.
Yeah, Chester, April 1970, Charlie Block. I got on this court about the cities that's in District 8, some of the other cities that's in the city of Bogalusa. You understand that under the 5-year rule that's falls under this, because it's not where we got streets with no residents that we did the last one. And what the public was saying, the people in this area with the party that after they're really one of the different names would be on this complex name, which they want Travis Thompson. And we were trying to see, what this is the qualification of this, is it 5-year rule or whatever, and I'm just going to y'all to clarify this, what do you have to do to have a complex name after you? Because in district over there, Travis Thompson was been a great asset to the community there, entire city. He helped many people, and there he supported the ball games and stuff there. He bought uniforms, he did everything. He helped the people in District 8. He gave them tabs, and people couldn't eat food. Travis made sure they ate. And I just think we need to reconsider that and try to see this man has been dead over 10 years, and the public is trying to put his name there. I want to see what is the difference between Travis Thomas and Kelly.
I'm sorry, Mr. Abrams, I have a question for you, please. You mentioned the ballpark in District A. I'm trying to get it's not.
Well, it's really over there with kind of track.
I know, but that's not part of District A. That's not part of District A.
No, but the people in District A, okay, and he helped the entire city, and you guys know it.
Oh, yeah, we know, I'm aware of Mr. Travis, but I just want, excuse me. Yeah, I just wanted what the connection of was the ballpark in District
No,
8.
I was, like I said,
It's located in which district, President?
yeah, it's E, but we talking about
He's
the
saying
people
the people in
that District A and the entire city, each district, that's what I said.
district around
Yeah.
the city, that's the man.
Because without this man,
Oh,
a lot
out
of
the
people
city,
in
yeah.
District A would have not had food on their table.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Right across the railroad track.
And the man was great until his death. And if the 5-year rule means anything, we need to reconsider.
Well, to my knowledge, the 5-year rule only pertains to streets, not parks, nor space. I mean, the
But you
facilities like the
give
ballpark.
assumption for everything else.
But no,
So
it's
if
written in
you-
the.
If you can't, if you break the rules as you go.
It's not listed.
Okay.
I'm trying to explain to you, if you would, please, Mr. Chester.
And explain to
not-
me what.
It's not listed for parks or for sports
Okay.
facilities.
Now,
The 5-year rule.
Okay, so explain to me, what is the rule on naming a complex?
For example-
An individual
Councilwoman P.
and not Travis Thomas. What made you come up with this name?
Spent over 30 years and they spent a lot of time mentoring children, volunteering.
So what my telling you, why we didn't name it, that's why it did, so you wouldn't go.
You can't, state law prohibits you naming anything after a living person. That's state losing a law. We can pull that up. If you, I'm just saying, that's state law. Now, Mr. Chester,
So if it comes under that, then,
That's not state
you
law.
know,
you cannot,
State
you
law.
cannot name it, you cannot name anything after a living person. That's state law.
They're literally naming a bridge after President Trump right now. That's not state law.
He's federal. This is state law.
That's not a federal highway. That's not a federal highway.
It's just federal.
It's actually state of Louisiana law. That you can't name it after any living person. It's actually state Louisiana law. We looked that up before we done all this.
okay, so.
State-
And I was gonna also,
Could you just answer why this guy?
Why,
Yeah, well, I'm talking to you, Lord.
this, we were petitioned, as you saw, there's names on the petition. There's people that petitioned us to get this done. You have 21 parks in the city of Bogalusa. Half of them are not named. Travis Thomas started his business on Main Street, can take you to it. I know all about Mr. Travis Thomas. Great guy, great, lovely man. Until 5 minutes ago, I didn't even know that the Thomas family wanted something. I hadn't seen a petition, anything, until you brought it up.
Public.
That's well, that's still,
You know.
it's until
With
5 minutes ago, I knew nothing about this.
But
Because
that's why we're
Mr.
bringing it to you
that-
now.
Now, listen, we're not doubting Mr. Thomas. He bent over backwards to help everybody, no matter what color of the rainbow he was, in their greatest need. I know that for a fact. He helped everybody. He helped every church, didn't look at anybody. Yes, he did. He's a
And
great
he
guy.
deserves
But-
also, right?
But listen, yes, he does. But I'm going to tell you something. You just heard me. His business was started at his first store was on Main Street, and he expanded from there. You see what I'm saying? His first store. So I happen to know he had 3 stores at one time in the 1980s. I know all about, before I became councilman, I actually read 4 different books on Bogalusa history. None of them coincide with each other, but they didn't have the historical events correct. Because everybody's family wants to be, they won't be the top dog in the book, okay? And you got to look at how the history was written, okay? You got to respect the history, and I respect Travis Thomas, but until 5 minutes ago, I didn't know there was offer on the table. But let me tell you about Councilman Kellis. Councilman Kellis spent numerous times with hundreds and hundreds of young guys and gals up there at that airport ballpark. He spent tons of time up there. That's a fact. Unfortunately, my family couldn't. We couldn't rub 2 cents together at that time. My dad worked and everything else, but there were some people up there that he did help. He changed their lives, and he made sure they stayed on the straight and narrow and kept them away from drugs and all that in a low income area. Yes, sir. Those events did take place with Councilman Kenny Kellis, and that's what's being honored here. This isn't an ordinance coming from me, it's coming from the petitioners that was brought it up after his funeral, but we waited a little while before it was brought up. And I told
So there's
Councilman,
no time in that, it's just do it whenever you want, right?
to answer your question, there is no time limit in any ordinance that says you can name a field. If you want to name something after Mr. Travis Thomas, go for it. Start your petition up for it. And we got 21 parks, 20 other something parks. Well, actually 19 or 18. The only thing I don't know for legal reasons, I don't think it's, I think it's Goodyear family donates to that. That's not part of the city. And then you got Cassidy Park, which is part of the city. That can't be renamed. But any other little park, you rename that. You rename that. But anyway, you got all these little pocket parks and all that. And look, I'm not going to try to say Mr. Thomas can't have a thing. And matter of fact, my God, I think, to be honest with you, he should have a street name, all the stuff that, but we're not going to get into street naming this year.
But the public in that area is going to be that part to be named after. I do know, we say ladies here, yes, and do everything.
Okay.
Mr. Abram, while you're up at the poll too, I just want to tell you thank you because that's why this is the reason why we have a council meeting. The council isn't aware of anything, so that's why we have a public meeting, so that you and everyone else could be a voice for those who is able to come to bring things like that to our concern. And as Mr. Mark stated, Mr. Travis did start at Main Street, but Mr. Chester also clarified that Mr. Travis helped the entire city of Bogalusa, not limited to not one district, but the entire city of Bogalusa. So I'm going to say to you, Mr. Chester, thank you, because it's a lot of things we do not know. And if we don't have these meetings, we'll stay in the blind on most cases. But yeah, that's very interesting to know that the citizens have that concern. And you and I can get together and we can meet and we can find another park to dedicate to his memory. That's very special. And if the family is wanting that part, maybe you and I can get together and talk to the family that's remaining and see if they would see another part. Since he was
He didn't say the
very,
family, he said the district 8.
Well, because I
He didn't say nothing about the family.
well, he also said the family as well as the persons in District 8 in the community of Bogalusa they fed.
Bob
I
Roberts,
hear
1127.
But
That's
I
my
wasn't,
thing.
excuse
come
me,
to-
I wasn't finished talking to
I just want to
Mr.
get out the
Chester.
way. I want to get out the way. He's been up here for an hour talking. Mr. Chester been up here for an hour talking. Please. This is my thing. When you come with something up in here, you need to have your facts together and know what you're talking about. You need to know how to go about getting something named in somebody's name. It haven't even been a petition. You see what I'm saying? For that. So first you got a petition to have that done. And like you said, what's the difference between Mr. Kenny Kenneth and Mr. Chester? Mr. Travis, Mr. Travis ran a store. And the store has had his name up there since he ran it. Mr. Kenny Kenneth worked at that park for 30 years, over 30 years with Kenny. That's a big difference. So if anybody deserves their name, you said you wanted to know the difference. Have your facts together.
He has the counsel for the difference, and the difference is, that's why I was trying to finish helping.
It's the same thing. Whoever got to point him in the right direction, he needs to be pointed in the right direction.
Well, that's why I was trying to tell him.
Wait a second. Tobias has the floor. Tobias has the floor.
No, Samira actually had the floor. Councilwoman at large had the floor.
Because you always got the floor because you on the council. But when the public comes, you need to give the public a chance to speak. He's been up here for an hour.
Hey. Yeah.
He's been up here for an hour.
Thank you, Mr. Tobias.
Yes, you should have more respect for the public when people come up in here. That's why I don't come.
Yes, sir.
Because there's no respect for the public out of the council.
I do apologize.
You know that if you got 3 minutes up here, how can somebody else come up here and stand up here for 15, 20 minutes and it's okay? When you see they got other people in line waiting to speak. Come on now.
Well, technically, it's not okay, and professionally, it's not okay because as the vice president, I was addressing Mr. Abram, and the president allowed you to speak out of turn. So therefore, you and the president are both wrong because I wasn't finished
addressing one constituent that had a question.
Very.
Oh, I want to kind of echo.
I'll state your name and
Oh,
address.
John McNabb, Field Speaker.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I want to just kind of reiterate a sentiment that I think that Mr. Travis did do a great area, a great service to not just our area, there's where it does need to recognize something here before. My only concern with this ordinance, really the big one, is because we, especially tonight, last meeting, uh, we've seen the clear disdain between our elected representatives and their constituents. We've seen today of a Facebook post, a member of the, or a member representing the city council, flat out lying about whether or not we have public records and if we even have an operating website. So with clear disdain for your constituents and a willingness for someone to just flat out lie to the public, I'm concerned about the fact that this is going to be funded by private funding sources. Who are these individuals and what oversight to make sure that this is done correctly is being put in place? Because with the current attitude that we're experiencing as citizens of this town, our township, we need some oversight or some sort of assurance before any funding. So would this fall under Parks and Rec? Who is handling? Who is handling? Okay. The resolution states that the cost will be borne entirely by private funding sources.
Signage and plaque. Yeah, that's it.
All costs associated with signage, plaques, and material costs, yes. And so that's what I'm trying to inquire. Because I would like some oversight. Who is providing this money? Who is overseeing the acceptance and the spending of this money? Okay, so this is entirely done by your family. Okay, all right. That's what I wanted to find out.
What's wrong with that?
Okay.
Well, I didn't get it that the Kellis family became a city asset. No, I'm saying the signs, that they would be handled by all collections, put signs up and stuff by the Kellis family. No, I said Kellis family. I said, okay, who will be over with signs and postages, like if the attorney or anybody else? But usually, like with the park, like Avenue B, that goes through Parks and Rec Commission or goes through Parks and Director, and that money goes to the city as well. That being a city asset, I do have a list who would be over handling the money that goes to that park, the signs and everything. Meaning if somebody gives it or they donate it or whatever like that, who would handle that? But that's what I'm saying. That's not order because it's a city asset. That's a city asset. I mean, regardless of whatever like that, that's just like if the city is a park like that, you can't have a city asset or a third party unless there's a contract with the city. Well, no, that's what I'm saying, but it would be handled through one part. It'd be handled through the city. That's not order.
The plaques.
Donated through, just from, or to the city. The city would be, okay, that's all I have.
Yes, it's talking about it. It's okay.
So is the Kellis family purchasing the sign and donating the physical sign? Or is the Kellis family going to cover the cost of an invoice for the business? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so y'all are getting a sign made and then y'all are donating that. Okay. Because it just says private funding sources and that's what I wanted to make sure because of just how recent behavior has been. I just gotta make sure we're clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Robinson Smith, 61558 Fort Hill Road. So I was talking, right? So I'm answering the question, why is Skinny Stella Skinny for?
Okay, Ms. Smith. Mr. Kellis taught baseball to Little League Baseball.
When?
Wait, Little League Baseball in the 1980s. You asked, and I'm telling the story.
Mhm.
In the 1980s to hundreds and hundreds of, youth. That was low income at the time. And he taught them baseball up there at the airport ballpark. Hundreds and hundreds of people. We got a petition over here. And for about
Yeah,
160,
right here
Yeah.
now,
Yes, ma'am.
because that's what they introduced.
Okay.
But I don't remember Skinny Stella being no coach.
He was. He sure was.
Well, I don't believe, I just don't believe, but anyways. What about Miss Key? Y'all doing everything now for everybody else at a drop of a hat. What about Miss Key?
Let me answer your question there. Remember I told Mr. Chester earlier, I know you wasn't in here. We have 21 parks. Y'all go at it and name them. And Miss Keys, by the way, should be recognized. Yes, I agree with her. I
But
agree.
these
By the way, Miss Keys, I want to tell you something. I'm just telling you. She told me before she died that she wanted to run for mayor one day. And I believe every word she said. I want to get that out in the council meeting, okay? But she was a knowledgeable woman. She could write grants.
Yeah.
She was going places before she died.
Yeah.
So I believe that, yes, get your petition together.
So why is it taking? So it just took Gloria to change the rules for everybody else to get something first for Miss Keys to get it.
No, that was a street. This is a street.
It's something different.
This is a street. That was a street. There was never no rules for the park. Never. There's never been no rules for
I
that.
said they had been dead 5 years.
The street name, they changed the
You
street.
can, the way it's set up today, you can drop dead today, be buried, and be on the way over here to City Hall and to start your petition. The way it is set up today, believe it or not.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, no problem. But it's got to be, I would say, you're historical or knowledgeable or done something like that. Yes.
And for the record, I don't know if it's time for discussion, but I have
Yeah,
to
go ahead.
reiterate this.
By the way, public
Coach-
discussion is closed. Go ahead, council discussion.
Okay. Coach Mike Harrison, baseball field. I did a petition based on the request of the family, Mr. Harrison. It was like maybe 2 or 3 months after he passed away. Some of you sitting out here may have signed off on the petition because I was at baseball games over at Avenue B. I was all over the city to get this changed. So once again, there's no guidelines or timeline, shall I say, on the facilities, the baseball fields. It's only written in the charter on the street. So no, Gloria Cates did not change that. And I want to reiterate again, I thought I was under impression that and God rest her soul, our councilmate, Councilwoman Keys, that Dr. Danielle Keys had a park named after her. Was
I thought
Main
that
Street? Main Street Park named after her. Oh, I thought the mayor.
Y'all can point at me. Yes, we named the park after Dr. Keys, but it's because I felt like a park should have been named after Dr.
That's
Keys.
right. That's right.
And we were very intentional about and very transparent about where this was coming from. We weren't acting like it's a big petition. I came to the city and said, I think we should name this after her. And I think that's more genuine than what we're doing right now.
Well, my
because-
point being, it was said that she did not have anything while we were overlooking her, but it has been named after her.
That's right.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's right. Okay. Also, Dr. Danielle has been centered.
That's right.
That's right.
As North Shore. As North Shore.
It is located at North Shore, Texas.
Correct.
And she also has a scholarship that she
Oh, yeah.
donates, to kids who are graduating every year
Mm-hmm.
as well. So for council discussion, as I was saying, sorry that it came off to appear as a behavior, which is never my intention. I was just trying to get clarification from Mr. Abram that he and I can work together for the other 20 parks that have not been named. No, 19, because we have the Tempest Park. Chester, you and I can work on something to that nature for the Thomas family, is what I was trying to say. And thank you, Mr. Tobias, because you did have a valid point, but I didn't want you to think that I was cutting off Mr. Chester time, and I appreciate your concerns. Everyone's concerns is always valid, and always I'm here to lend a listening ear as well as to take knowledge of what the community is saying.
I have
So,
discussion.
and thank you to the Kelly's family for all that y'all have done, and as a volunteer, you being the wife, I know you took out a lot of time too to help donate as well as spend a lot of hours in that park. And I also would like to add to the citizens who keep up with everything that's going on. That park looks amazing, and the city hasn't paid not one dime. Volunteers have got out, paid their own money, their own time, their children, their family involved in cleaning and making sure that park looks very, very successful. Some of the local business owners was here at the last meeting to speak exactly on this topic because there are some of the business owners who have been putting their time or finance money, not asking the city for anything. My sons did play on that baseball field. So therefore, I do know that hours have been put in, and persons who have dedicated their time, Mr. Kenny and his family, and several other persons, because I received numerous calls, questions saying, as Mr. Chester, why was it being named after him? And once I was able to elaborate and give them that information, historical information that could be found through just community person. And kids have spent time on that baseball field. That in his memory, Mr. Keller sat here and he said that persons when they pass, quote unquote, should receive a memory gift. That way you're able to read it, you're able to have somewhere to sit down in memory of those who have passed along. And I also have contacted a business person who is going to donate a bench in that park in the memory of Mr. Kenny Kellis. Won't cost the city a dime. He's willing to donate it financially from his own finances.
Okay, any other council discussion?
Yes, I have discussion. You know, there's a lot of talk about this petition, but I think we just need to be honest about what this is. This is political cronyism. This isn't a community-led petition. This is Mr. Kellis' wife going out and asking her friends for signatures and then coming in here to ask her friends on the city council to push this through. I have a question that everybody in the city is thinking, but nobody wants to say. Why Mr. Kenny Kellis? There are plenty of people in this city who deserve accolades. You have somebody, number one, AZ Young. You got AZ Young got a park right on the state capitol grounds, but don't have a park in his own city. But here we are, we're going to trump this up and make it seem more than what it is and basically try to shame people who bring concerns about this because the guy is deceased. We respect Mr. Kellis, but I also think we respect the fact that there are plenty of other people in line before Mr. Kellis who should receive this. And I'm glad that the park is getting cleaned up, but I just want the city to pay attention. For the past 2-3 years, where were these businesses at? Why haven't they been helping? But now when it's a political photo to be taken, oh, let's round up the gang and go scrape some grass off the sidewalk and get a new sign and smile. Let's tackle the real issues. Y'all talking about a petition it's been plenty times we done brought petitions to y'all that have way more signatures than these on more important topics like passing the budget. Y'all didn't want to even look at the petition, but now all I keep hearing is this petition. This is a list of people that Councilwoman Kellis went out and said, can y'all sign this? Half of these people just looking at it don't even live in Bogalusa. But when other people come to the mic who don't live in Bogalusa, y'all want to be funny, repeat your address, or, oh, they don't even live here. But when these people sign this petition, they don't live in Bogalusa, it's okay. Modesto, California, Gulfport, Mississippi. Just all over. I think we should do better. I think we can do better. You need to think twice because you've set a very low bar. And if that's all the bar is, we just go get a petition and then I'll just come in and rename all the parks and bring y'all a bunch of petitions. But that's going to be a free for all. These parks, these public places need to be named after people who are worthy of it. Thank you.
That's it. Your council discussion. Jump in here.
Well, I would just like to say that Kenny Kelly served this city proudly, not only as volunteer police, he served as police officer.
Speaking to the microphone.
He, when he got out of the military, he came and worked for the city, hustled garbage, dug ditches, worked down in the motor pool. So I think that he is kind of worthy, that he has served this city and served these streets, protected citizens. And I think he's worthy. And I'm sorry that those of y'all that don't have a heart to protect this, I'm sorry.
This is council discussion.
We're discussing naming a park after Mr. Kenny Kelly.
Excuse me,
This
I
is
have
council
council
discussion.
discussion. I have council discussion. There are,
Council discussion.
we're done.
We are in.
It is council discussion. It is council discussion. It is council discussion. Bye, Mr. Sanders. Have a nice day. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, we gotta run a freaking meeting here. Okay? Okay,
I have council discussion.
right.
I do agree that there are many people here in the city of Bogalusa that needs recognition, noteworthy street name changes, park changes. They are worthy. But however, how would we know unless you come forth and let us know? I agree with H.V. Young, yes, that has a subdivision and also has a landmark on his street. He does have that. But if Ricky comes forth and he wants to push, I will help him push on whatever he wants to name. Because the man, he was known here in Bogalusa and at the state capitol, in Baton Rouge, and probably and statewide, I should say. So, like I said, if we know, we can push it. And the street names that I have initiated, it was initiated by the family coming forward.
Any other council discussion? All right, keep in mind, Councilwoman Kelly, you're gonna have to abstain from this. At this time, we're gonna have roll call.
Aye.
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 Okay, measure passes. Thank you. At this time, we have administrative remarks. Mayor,
Yeah, I just want to start by making a note on the record that there was an ethics violation. You, as a council member, you can't push for any legislation that benefits a primary family member. So there was an ethics violation made. I just want to put that on the record in the minutes. Administrative remarks, as I stated, we are in the thick of an election year. This is the time where people can actually make change. This is your government. We sit in the seats because you allow us to sit here. Uh, as is evident tonight, it seems as if the community's input is never taken into account. You're I would even go as far to say is you're antagonized when you come to the microphone just to express your opinion. I'd like to address what Ms. Smith said earlier about the council doesn't know things and they need you all to bring it to their attention. The council knows what they want to know. And how can the public bring something to their attention when they gutted public participation? So if it's not about what's on the agenda, then you can't even address your city council. So, I just want us to be more intentional about what we are doing in these meetings. The public is really paying attention right now. Thank God.
Yes, they are.
And we need them to continue to. We need them to continue to. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Now we have, you want to start with Councilwoman Jealous?
Thank you all for coming out tonight. Thank you, council, for, tonight, the council that we sat.
Councilwoman Vincent?
I would like to thank everyone who came out this past Saturday to help in the parish-wide cleanup day. In just a few short hours, an incredible amount of trash was collected. It was especially great to see all the photos shared. It really showed the impact that we were able to make together. I'd love to see this grow into a twice-a-year tradition, once in the fall and then again in the spring. And that way, the people that were not able to participate in this one, then they could possibly come out and participate in the fall. That gives people more of a chance a couple of times a year. Hopefully, we'll have even more people join us the next time and see what more we can do to better the city. Thank you.
Councilwoman Douglas? Councilwoman Smith?
Thanks everybody for taking the time out of their busy schedules to come out to support the breakthrough signs that how we grow together, working and listening to others and helping to go forward. I do appreciate everyone who came out this Saturday to this activity to make it better. And we had just such a wonderful day. All the peers, all the kids, all the business owners that also came to take a part of this great event with keeping the city clean, hoping that we continue to right. As the mayor stated, everyone is watching. I would like to thank the fire department for coming out and helping with the Bogalusa police department. They're stepping up and helping, and I do thank the Bogalusa police department for watching. And I was being the eye that we use to be since I was elected by the constituents. Thank y'all for your voting support. It's been hard these couple of weeks. I have stayed here with Councilwoman Kelly His husband passed away. He was a great counselor. It's hard, and after that, their child passed. That's even more hard. Also with Miss Douglas, unexpected her child passed. You know, we just don't have a time, a date, a place for death, but they have been genuinely committed to the city of Bogalusa in all of the heartaches and pains, the grievance and love. We also have an ordinance a dedicated police officer. Her mother had it. She remained dedicated to her job, her duty of protecting the citizens. And I just want to thank her, give her her flowers while she's here. Because, you know, after my mother passed, I shut down for a long time. So it does take a lot out of us. And remember, y'all, we're all human. We're not going to always be perfect. We make mistakes. But we have to grow and learn from our mistakes. We cannot come in here, act childish, act foolish, try to discredit the counselor, you know, try to make us look bad when we're sitting here and half of us, or a majority of us, are all educated and certified to do the jobs that we do. So, and I just want to tell y'all, thank y'all. You know, both we have to continue to work together, pull together. We got to stop the separation and the division here inside the city. It can be done. It will be done, and we just have to keep the faith and move forward. Just thank everybody for coming. Let's continue to remember each other in prayer. And may the Lord continue and bless us. May the Lord continue and bless and strengthen us all. Thank you.
Councilwoman Cates.
I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Thank you for prayers. We need prayers mostly within the city. And I know prayer does change things. We have to continue to pray, press through. That's what we need to press through. I want to thank everyone, my councilmates, and for the condolences received in the loss of my brother-in-law. Many of you know Dennis Cate, and he was very instrumental here in the city of Bogalusa. He was on the police bureau. He was one of the first African-American engineers at International Paper, and he will be missed. He will be missed by the family. But thank you, everyone. Acknowledgements to everyone goes out. I would like to also read a particular, and it's just going to take one moment, a particular announcement that I attempted to read on at the March 7th meeting. It's in reference to the railroad track on Austin Street and Superior Avenue. And I did give the Canadian National that owned the railroad the synopsis of our railroad, which was the tracks were worn because of fatigue and repeated train loads, also buckling of the tracks, and participation in issues of the tracks was made. There was many concerns about the tracks, and then I did get a notice on March 13th from Amanda Garcelle of DOTD out of Covington, and she indicated she wanted to give an update. We now have a project in the works to reconstruct the crossing and install a new surface. She says, although she doesn't have a specific time, but at this time, for what I understand, Senator Mizell has came forth with a specific time period that they're going to be getting started in May on our railroad track. But this is something, as I said, it's been a an issue and a concern for our concerned citizens, and the railroad tracks are horrible. You run over tracks, and all I could really do is refer the people to our office for maybe for an assessment done. But at this point, CNN, the railroad folks, as well as DOTD, will be furnishing this particular contract with our railroad. Cleanup Day. I just want to thank you. Many of you probably see the article on Cleanup Day. This is the 12th annual Cleanup Day in District A, and it's been extended to the 25th, April 25th, is coming Saturday, because our dumpsters did not come through. But anyone that wants to dump anything, we're looking for the dump to be at Topless and Redmond, either to be at the Burgundy in Austin, or to be on Second and Martin Luther King. I'm sorry. No, the tires are to be put on the outside, and we'll make arrangements for the tires to be picked up. But no, they're not to be. Yes, that's been past practice, and that particular dumpster is utilized by District E and District A.
We'll get around to that, what happened.
Yes. And then finally, I would like to thank the police department, public works, and our fire department for the job, the continued job that they're doing in order to assist us, to keep us safe, and to I understand that I have to get it clarified that the burn ban might be off at this point, but I will confirm with the burn ban. So thank you, everybody, as I said, with your condolences. Thank you for the flowers. After I started crying on somebody's shoulder, I got flowers. Thank you.
We had
They were welcome.
Thank you, Councilman. Keep the Cates family in their prayers.
Yes, sir.
We did have a good cleanup day. As you know, there was some tires left behind. We are aware of that. Parish government reached their capacity, couldn't take any more. That's what happened. They shut us down. And we had to leave them exactly where they was, and we were instructed to do so. And I'll tell you, the guy who said it was Parish President Ryan Seal, said out of his mouth. He was on site. And unfortunately, that's what happened. They reached their capacity, because last year it was like 130 in your district. It was 57 in my district. And we did get them all out. But, and we did present some ideas, which is old ideas. The parish has done heard them before, about tire recycling and all that. But it's not economic. The parish is saying, we have looked into that. It's not economically feasible to keep it running 24/7. And of course, they know about making asphalt, playground equipment, all kinds of good stuff. But anyway, the cleanup day, because you got to make lemons with lemonade, and the cleanup day focused on buggy removal by one team. At that time, the buggies were all removed in District E and throughout the neighborhoods. We took pictures. We went to ditches, all that kind of stuff. I pulled some out, and then the buggy team came by, and then the Explorer Post helped us, and over there in District E, very good team, the canoe racing team, Colonel Miller's former Post 313. They were very good about cleaning up, and it's good to teach kids now about littering, because they won't be throwing out when they get adults. So it's a very good thing to do. But I would love to see a lot more people out there, especially candidates or future candidates. I would love to see a lot more of them, especially mayoral candidates. No offense, Mayor, to you, but I'd just say I'd love to see more of them working to pick up. No, I was just telling them about I'd love to see more of the mayoral candidates picking up litter with us. But anyway, I want to thank y'all very much. Our next meeting will be in, huh? No, he didn't want to say anything. Yeah. But anyway,
He said, talk to you later.
and just to let you know, we are aware, we're working on it. There will be what we call a new city website because bogalusa.org is dead. There will be a new city website properly functioning where we can have access to it, and Carrie will have access to it sometime in the next probably month or so, or 2 months at max. So we are working on restoring all that, and we will be able to pay your bills, such as water and all that stuff. You know, it's got some things that we are still working out and building and stuff like that as of today. So with all said, thank y'all. The next council meeting will be what? May 5th. Thank y'all.